What if the reason you're struggling to conceive is hidden in your genes? Genetic factors contribute to 15 to 30% of infertility cases in India. So doctor, how does genetics affect the ability to conceive?
Many of the times, these genetic factors might be the prime concerns behind the infertility struggles. This issue often it goes unnoticed until the couple actually meets with a failure in their IVF cycle, or they end up having a early first trimester miscarriages. So when a couple comes to us with a failed IVF cycle, or if they have had an early trimester miscarriage, we state that more than 80% of the times the reason might be an unhealthy embryo genetically which was formed.
So how can genetic testing fix this?
A couple, if they have gone through an IVF cycle and they end up having embryos. For example, I'm talking about a young age lady, less than 35 years. For some reason, they had to go for an IVF. They have, say, 10 embryos that are formed from the IVF cycle. Around 60% of the formed embryos are usually euploid. That means they are normal. So at the outgo itself, sometimes in the formed embryos, there might be abnormal ones. Not every couple goes for genetic testing. It is done in couples where they have had prior history of IVF failures, prior history of miscarriages, or they have some genetic condition that's been running in the family. That's when they go for genetic testing. But otherwise also we have to keep this fact in our mind that not all the embryos are normal when they are formed. So out of these embryos, if a couple does not want to directly go for a transfer without knowing the genetic makeup of the embryo, they can go for a testing which is called PGT, pre-implantation genetic testing. Now by doing this PGT, particularly PGT-A, where you're only testing for aneuploidy, that is looking for embryos with the right number of chromosomes. That's all. They will only state that it is a euploid embryo and we can go ahead for a transfer. Or sometimes they say it is aneuploid embryo and to discard it and not go for the transfer. So by doing this, we are able to screen these embryos for the normal ones and only take those normal embryos and transfer it into the uterus of the lady. By doing this, we can majorly cut down the risk of IVF losses or the risk of having a subsequent miscarriage.
If you're struggling with infertility, genetic testing like PGT might be a game changer for you. So many couples lose hope of pregnancy because they didn't know what's causing it. Share this episode with someone who might need this hope.